This time if you look at any of the numbered rows, you'll see there will be more than one possibility. However, there are some rows and columns marked with 0. This is very helpful to identify early on because it tells you exactly where there will be no black cells. You can cross out the entire row or column if it is a 0. It becomes a simple matter of identifying two sets of 4 separated by one empty cell. If the first 4 starts here, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next one would have to be space. And then you would have 1, 2, 3, and 4 left, because the last one cannot have any. So the empty space must be here. And again, because this is 3, and the top is not usable, you know that part of the 3 has to be here, which accounts for the 1. So let's X this out. Just give me a second to change tools. And now we can extrapolate the location of the upper 2 in this column. But the others in this general area are not so easy to peg. So I think you're starting to get the idea. I briefly touched upon how to extrapolate the location of additional filled cells from one filled cell. However, in this case, suppose that there were not 10s. You would still be able to get started on the Picross. Because here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we consider the 7 could also start on the bottom, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's one place that these two possibilities converge, and these cells must always be filled. You can locate these cells visually, or you can do it mathematically. If you subtract the number in the column or row from, in this case, 10, that will tell you how many from the edge are possibly empty spaces, and all between those are filled spaces. Additionally, if there's a 1 above the 7, that would mean that the 1 would have to be above the 7, obviously. This would mean the convergence would extend 2 cells lower. 1 for the 1, and 1 for the empty cell that must be there. If the 1 was below the 7, that would indicate that it would have to go 2 higher. This is actually probably the most invaluable technique you will learn. Many advanced Picross require that you do this, or cheat, but you should do this. Cheating just isn't fun. It ruins everything. Do you want to ruin everything? Do you want to be why we as a society cannot have nice things? In a society where everyone cheats, everyone loses. Now that I've covered your daily dose of deep thinking, let's try this with the 8. Same thing. Now the only ones on this row of 6 that you could be sure of would be the 2 middle ones. But you've already figured out that one of the ones to the left of that is part of the 6. So you can cross out the rightmost cell in this row. While you're at it, copy the other vertical 7 too. And now look here, since there's only one number in this row, these two must be connected, even though you knew they were connected by counting the cells. Just fill it in, past me! I'm gonna go back to the past and slap you! Wait a minute, I was slapped and that's why it took so long. I was recovering. Alternate present me, what have you done? Now this 5, you only have 3 spaces that are not accounted for. There are 3 below, but there are 5 above. So the upper 2 cannot have any filled spaces. So cross those out. So that means the 4 can't start at the left, and that means the 3 can't start at the top, and that means the 2 can't start at the left. For the one of you who will jump back, just watch what happens. You'll eventually start thinking as fast as I was talking. So now go out into the wild world and find some Picross of your own, and become a Picross master. Actually, I've attached some Picross to this episode, including one Picross not seen in this tutorial. And when you're a Picross master and ready to make your own Picross, feel free to rip off my Picross as templates. But my starter Picross will only get you so far. There's a whole world more of Picross out there. I advise going to Amazon and searching Picross. You will find many Picross puzzle books. It's also possible your local newspaper could have Picross as well. But remember, it could be under another name such as nonograms. In addition, if you own a smartphone, you can always go to the Android store and search for nonograms or Picross, and you will find many compilations. Apple is much more restrictive about what they allow on the Apple Store, so you will likely find fewer choices than Google users. If you go with paper Picross, always use a pencil, or very, very bad things will happen.